Good evening and welcome to the Slate Coffee Shop. I'm Aeson Knight, and of course, I'm sitting down with Techy with the Moses, Techy Joe. How are you, darling?
I'm doing well. How are you this evening?
Doubly evil, but all right.
Hey, that works. That
Yep,
works.
yep. Hello, Miss Brenda. Nice to see you in the house.
Hey, Brenda.
Well, February's full moon is going to be an action-packed event.
Yes.
Mm.
I mean, is there ever a boring?
Cancer.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's when it gets boring.
That's when everyone wants to clean their house and go to sleep.
Hey, I think we could all use that one more often.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one sounds great. Let's do that.
Yeah. It'll happen this year at least twice.
Hey, there is that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
So you ready to just get into it with the full moon in Leo?
Yeah, let's dig into it.
All right. So February's full moon is upon us, taking place in fire sign of Leo. This lunation brings a fierce energy, pushing us to walk to the beat of our own drums. February's full moon is nicknamed the snow moon, which received its name from the heavy snowfall in much of North America during this time. According to astrologist and spiritual counselor Leteo Wang, this lunation is a radiant and transformative moment, calling us to embrace our inner fire and authenticity. Full moons are all about culmination, release, and emotional clarity. And in bold, creative Leo, this one encourages us to step into our power, celebrate our uniqueness, and let go of self doubt. It's a time to honor what makes you you and align with your heart's true desires, Wang says. Wang adds that we should lean into your courage, creativity, and curiosity. Trust that even in uncertainty, you're being guided towards your brightest, boldest self. This full moon is your moment to rise, rebel, and shine. So that'll be Wednesday, February 12th at 8:53 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, and you got to be careful. You got to understand what it is, how to play with it, how to use it to your strength.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, because it has different effects on different
Right.
signs. Because, like, for Aries, it's a prime time to get your creative juices flowing. For
Right.
Taurus, a family matter is controlling your life, making you spend more time at home tending to the situation. For Gemini, even though you're a great communicator, you might find yourself acting out in other ways when a disappointment comes to fruition. For
Mm-hmm.
Cancer, your self esteem is at a high after weeks of waffling back and forth between sentiments.
Mm-hmm.
For Leo, since the full moon aligns with your sun sign, you might find that everyone is giving you extra attention. For Virgo, simply put, you're exhausted and need rest. Libra, a sudden pause or reemergence of old friends will add surprise to your week. Scorpio, a new position is opening up and you have your eye on it. I'm going to read the next part of this one. The caveat is that it might not be in line with your professional history. So keep that in mind there, Scorpio. Sagittarius, if you've been attempting to investigate a topic, you might find yourself more committed to cracking open the books or taking a class. Capricorn, you're having a spiritual rebirth of sorts that is helping you transform and become your highest self. Aquarius, relationships are on the forefront of your mind. Be wise and careful to not give your energy to power struggles. And then Pisces, taking accountability is challenging if you let your ego get in the way.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
that's a lot going on. That's a
it
lot
is a lot going on. There's also a lot of bouncing back and forth and figuring out how to eat it.
going
Mm-hmm.
Like, figure out how to take that bite.
Right.
So, yeah.
So, as everyone knows, there is a bird flu outbreak. in the U.S. This is why our eggs are $24 for 60.
Well, yeah, it's like $5.50 a dozen.
Mm-hmm.
At least in our area. Don't know what your area is doing. It may be higher or more frightening.
Right.
So yeah. So is U.S. bird flu outbreak in cattle a global risk to humans? A second subtype of H5 bird flu, known as D1.1, was detected in dairy cattle and infected one worker in the U.S. state of Nevada. Will it spread further among people? So, yeah, on February 10th, 2025, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention released data showing the new D1.1 genotype of avian influenza, H5N1, had infected 15 people in 5 states, including in Nevada, where D1.1 was only recently detected in dairy cattle. The CDC believes the risk to humans remains low. Infections have also been detected outside the U.S. and the United Kingdom. European authorities are monitoring the North American outbreak. So, U.S. authorities have said the detection of a different strain of avian influenza, the D1.1 genotype, in dairy cows in January proves that bird flu has now spread from wild birds into cattle, twice in an outbreak that started in late 2023. The genotype refers to the genetic makeup of a virus within a group of virus types. In this case, is the highly pathogenic avian influenza. So yeah.
Yeah.
But it is looking like, and it looks like it is spreading internationally. So the current thoughts are that the current U.S. outbreak may have gone beyond North America.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and it was detected in milk collected as part of the surveying launch in December of 2024. It's hit 16 states. This is why, like, you might see milk products not available. You might see cheeses not available because when one cow gets it, they got to take out the whole herd.
Yeah, well, and that's what they're doing with chickens as well, and hence the egg shortages currently. Now cheese might be a little delayed. Yeah. Like that's the weirdo part of this is trying to remember the process of like how we make all of our dairy products. A problem today that causes a milk disruption that would reduce the inputs to make cheese, that slowdown may not show up depending upon how long it takes to age the cheese. Right. So, yeah, it needs to age exactly. So it looks like right now the general consensus is they're not really thinking that that this current bird flu is going to be our next pandemic. But there is concern that we're kind of headed towards one.
Right, as we cut funding, so this will be lovely.
Well, yeah. Well, but with the bird flu, there's some concerns that at the rate that it's mutating, that it looks like it's trying. So it may not be the 1.1 or the D1.1, I think it was, variant that's going to be the problem, but it's possible that we are looming on one of the H5, whatever variant, becoming a next 1918 flu pandemic,
right?
Like that level of event. So yeah. All we can say is do all your normal things. If you didn't learn anything from COVID, I don't know how you survived. So, wash your hands. Sincerely consider if you're in large public situations, if you're stuck on mass transit, if you have to fly on a plane, wear your mask. Wear
Yeah.
a mask.
Wear a mask.
Especially since the N95 masks are back in stock.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
The other part of that is if you are sick and you think it is a flu, go get tested.
Mhm.
Go get the meds. Like, this is no longer stay home and get chicken soup. You toddle your little butt off and get your meds.
Well, I mean, see your doctor. Definitely stay at home if nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
If nothing else, please don't take it to work.
Right.
Please don't take it to work.
Yeah.
Like,
because
I really
this
can't
year's
stress
flu
that.
is terrible.
Yeah, well, we're not even sure. Well, yeah, the yeah, flu A sucked. That was our experience for the end of last year. So flu A sucked. Like, I guess we had the flu B shot, or flu A was just really extra virulent this year.
Right.
So either which way it goes. But no, just and then there's something else going around.
Right.
Which I don't even think we've figured out what exactly in the cold family that is, but everyone we've talked to has gone through like 2 weeks to a month of just not really being all that sick, but just completely wiped.
Right.
Just energetically wiped out. Like they felt a little sick. They maybe had like a little cough, a little stuffy nose, a little, some basic common cold symptoms.
Right.
No real fever, no real, like massive symptoms. But then the energy hit was just scorched earth.
Right.
Yeah, just totally wiped.
Right. And, headaches and all this going on with it. Because I've heard headaches, I've heard fevers. It's not being detected as panini.
Yeah, it's not popping as COVID. It's not popping as anything serious. Like, it's a thing. But yeah, it seems like our cold season this year was extremely horrific.
Right.
Like, it wasn't a normal, just like, oh, I've got the sniffles. It was like I had the sniffles, and then I couldn't get out of bed for like 2 weeks.
And it's like, oh, what are we going to do with you? Or a month. All right. So, for those that don't know, there's an asteroid heading towards Earth. This was found like earlier this year. Well, MIT students say the asteroid could hit Earth in 2032.
So astronomers will have more information later this spring about the asteroid's path and its likelihood of hitting Earth. So the odds of a recently discovered asteroid hitting the Earth in 2032 have slightly increased, but one local scientist from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology said there's no need to worry. The asteroid, called 2024 YR4, was first discovered in December. Scientists said then that the odds of a strike were slightly more than 1%. Last week, that risk increased to 2.3%. Chance of the asteroid hitting Earth on December 22nd, 2032, according to NASA. The space rock is estimated to be 130 to 300 feet across, but NASA said it will continue to monitor it to assess its size. It will be visible through April, after which it will become too faint until June 2028, according to the agency. That's when we will probably refine its orbit even more, and also its size, and then the picture will be clear if it's going to hit Earth or not, and how devastating that could be, MIT's Artem Burdanov said. Burdanov, a research scientist at the MIT Department of Earth, Atmospheric, and Planetary Sciences, said 2024 YR4 is, quote, the most dangerous thing we have so far, and astronomers need to monitor it. We need to observe it more, and then we can make an informed decision about that. But it's good that we have telescopes and scientists who can do this type of work and inform the public about the threat, Burdenov said. According to NASA's Sentry, a collision monitoring system, 2024 YR4 is the only known space object that registers on the Torino scale, which is a tool for categorizing Earth impact events. 2024 YR4 is categorized as a 3, which is a close encounter meriting attention by astronomers, especially if the encounter is less than a decade away. All other objects on the Sentry are categorized as 0 or no hazard. Burdenov compared 2024 YR4 to the Tunguska event, where a similarly sized asteroid with an estimated diameter of 130 feet exploded over a remote area in Siberia in 1908. It's not a dinosaur-killing asteroid, which was 10 kilometers in diameter, but it can do some serious damage, Burdenov said about 2024 YR4. In the unlikely chance the asteroid is on a path to hit Earth in 2032, Burdenov said scientists will be able to predict when and where it will hit, allowing people to be evacuated or even possibly deflecting the asteroid's orbit.
Mm-hmm. And see, this is getting a little complicated, but at the same time, it's like, okay, hey, Reagan, where's that satellite we paid for?
Well, which one?
The one that had laser beams in it. The Star Wars
satellite. I honestly, I think at 130 feet, I'm trying to put that in context.
That's a football field and a third.
It's like a tractor trailer and a half?
No, that's even tractor trailers are 23 feet.
Really? That's it?
Yeah.
I thought tractor trailers were a little bigger. Okay, so like 4 tractor trailers wide. I then there's how much is going to burn off entering the Earth's atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Because that all depends upon its like angle of approach, whether it's steep or not.
Right.
I mean, theoretically, it's. I think the assertion that look, this is not an extinction level event. This is someone might lose a trailer park.
Like you can take out an apartment. Lose Miami.
I mean, lose it. Well, I don't think it would be big enough to take out a major city.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I thought tractor trailers were longer. I don't know why. In my head, tractor trailers are huge. Maybe it's because one tried to eat me today while we were trying to go to the store.
Possibly, but no, that I would say is probably going to be about a football field wide and about 3 football fields long.
Okay, now I do know the general size of a football field. Yeah. That might be a little bigger than it is. But anyhow, with that said, major shout out to West Virginia Department of Transportation for your road cleaning abilities. We almost got eaten by a tractor trailer today for the reason that they started to clear a lane, but didn't quite clear it all. Like the plow drifted back over. And so it left the illusion there was an open lane, and this tractor trailer was suddenly horrifically realizing that I don't have a lane.
Right.
That he didn't. So, yeah.
Right.
That was... Like, that stuff's hard to navigate at night. I don't really blame the tractor trailer driver, but damn, that truck looked huge as it was quickly approaching us.
Again, it's only 9 feet by 22 feet.
Okay. Still, not something you want to see coming at your SUV.
Right.
Alrighty.
You know.
Oh, Shannon, sliding in like Tom Cruise in Risky Business. Sup? Yes.
Yes.
All the usual, just the usual.
Joe attempting to kill us. Me trying to get dinner cooked.
I did not attempt to kill you. I attempt to take you to the store.
Really?
What?
I was going back to earlier this morning.
What did I do earlier this? Oh, that wouldn't kill you. It'd just make you very uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's even debatable.
Right.
Yeah. So I was making breakfast. We had 3 sausage patties left. I wanted 2. I asked him if he wanted the third one. I would go ahead and cook it. Was not paying attention. Oh, hey, Emily. Hey, Gwen. So I wasn't even thinking, and I had already chucked it into the skillet before I realized.
Mm-hmm.
That's my skillet, not his skillet. He can't eat it. I was like, damn. Well, so much for the offer. I have to rescind that.
Yep. So you can have an omelet in the morning.
No sausage for you.
Yeah. Hello, Emily. Hello, Lady Gwen. Lady Gwen, we so need to have a meeting. We need to have a kiki with probably a shopping event afterwards with Blue. Because, girl, like, weekends here, sales are on. We got to rock.
Absolutely. Gotta love Second Life for the sales weekends.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. So we do have an APB, you know, who in West Virginia can't use 10K?
You know, there is that. So 59 News reports for us. FBI offering $10,000 reward after man gains access to West Virginia power plant. So from Winfield, West Virginia and WBOY, the FBI is offering $10,000 for information on an unidentified suspect who snuck into a Putnam County power plant in Winfield, West Virginia. According to a press release from the FBI field office in Pittsburgh on December 30th, 2023, the unidentified man gained unauthorized access to the John Amos power plant between 9 p.m. and 9:31 p.m. The FBI did not provide any details about what the suspect is believed to have done or how they were able to enter the plant without authorization. However, the FBI did provide pictures of the suspect as well as video of the man walking through an empty hallway. So, wait a second. We're just finding out in February of 2025 about December 2023?
Mm-hmm.
All right. In the provided images, the suspect is wearing navy overalls with neon orange stripes on the sleeves and is described as a white male in his late 20s to early 30s, approximately 5'9" to 5'10", and weighing approximately 165 to 175 pounds. The FBI also provided pictures of the suspect's vehicle, believed to be a late 90s to early 2000s Jeep Cherokee. The FBI is offering a reward of up to $10,000 for information leading to the identification, arrest, and conviction of the unknown suspect involved. If you believe you have information on the suspect, you can call the FBI tip line at 1-800-225-5324, or you can submit a tip online. So, yeah, what? Like, I'm still kind of sitting here like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Like, one, just really?
Yeah.
You walked right in. Meanwhile, a year and change later, we'd like your help identifying him. Like, I'm.
They can't find him. Honey, one, don't be presenting this on the news. This needs to go to the grinder. Like, the gay boys will identify him and tattoo him for you.
I mean, pretty sure that hat is from a mining company. Pretty sure that's pretty standard clothing for a miner. But then again, your suspect description basically sounds like generic white male.
Right.
20 to 30s, 5'9" to 5'10", and 165 to 175.
Yeah.
Really? Like, talk about the most generic human being. Because, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But that jacket that he's wearing, that can be purchased at any of the mining stores. He's got mining boots on. Those khakis, they're work clothes, but that gray shirt tells me that he doesn't do mining often. And that his hands are too small for mining.
Equipment operator at this point, it doesn't much matter. I'm just curious, like, why aren't we trying to figure out the logos? Because I like everything he's wearing. Like, the jacket has a logo, the hat has a logo. Like,
right.
None of that panned out.
Well, not only that, but I don't think that they done much with it.
All right.
Furthermore, how do you just walk into a power plant?
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the whole problem, is that's not supposed to happen. Then again, I didn't know you could randomly walk into the United States Treasury, but that happened. That happened this week. Well, technically, last week, but yeah, no, it just floors me. So yeah, the randomness of it all.
Right. And we got some comments in on this one, so let's take those and go through that.
So Emily says he must have posed as an elementary school student, as I swear I went on 5 separate field trips to that power plant in the course of my Boca school career. School systems really are horrible about, like, utilizing the same field trip experiences just over and over and over and over. That kind of sounds like my Sarver Candy Company experience. I don't think there's a child who made it out of Mercer Elementary in Princeton, West Virginia, that did not go to the Sarver Candy Company. Like, not a one of us. Not a one of us. No one made it out alive.
And why did you not take me there? It's a candy company. Did you not think that was an acceptable date?
It's not that fun.
It's a candy company. Who said anything about fun? I need to apply for the taste testing job.
Again, not as exciting as you think it is. This is not like fudge and chocolates.
Okay.
It's all like starlights and granny candy.
That explains why you like it so much.
I mean, don't get me wrong. They sent us home with samples. I mean, it was a fun trip, but it's like, at some point, it's like, just tell me what your class field trip was in like 3rd to 4th grade. I can tell you what school you went to.
Okay, the Capitol.
Oh, see, well, 3rd and 4th grade? Ugh. I think every school system does that one at some point.
All right. Let's check out with Shannon, because she gave us the lowdown on this one.
All right, look, I live just up the road. It's not hard to get in and out of that place. LOL, security sucks. And AEP can afford way better security cameras. My phone's got better resolution than those shitty cameras. You know, that's the thing. It's not necessarily the cameras.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually part of how they are being utilized, and how the data is being stored.
Right.
Because what you want is the longest recording time possible.
Right.
In doing that, you end up dropping quality.
Right.
So anyway, my boss made the comment, quote, "What is one action you would do to mess with the way of things?" And I asked if loss of life mattered. He said no. Take out the power plant up the road. It supplies power to a good bit of the East Coast. And he looked me dead in my eyeballs and said, "I'm glad you're lazy." Ouch, ouch, ouch. So Shannon points out they sell similar ones at the Tractor Supply stores too.
Yep, the cameras. Here's the thing with this. This is a very large danger to the U.S. Nobody, like any other place you go to, it is locked down, badge entry.
Oh, no, Shannon was talking about clothes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's my, we've been, how long are we going to wait for, a infrastructure attack?
Fundamentally, I think our focus has primarily been on the idea of like nuclear event, terrorist attack, as in like an air attack like 9/11, some kind of bomb drop, explosive, that gets, yeeted at a facility. I don't think in a lot of situations, and I think for West Virginia, we don't often realize like the dangers within the state.
Right.
And the fact that, like, when you really dig, and pardon the pun, but when you really dig into it, the whole state is, like, forget that we have a power plant that supplies a good chunk of the East Coast. We additionally are sitting on top of, like, disused mines. I don't think in a lot of instances we're really paying a whole lot of attention. Like, if you go for the heavy equipment, someone's going to stop you.
Right.
But not necessarily are we thinking about, like, why are you here? What are you doing here? Who are you? And how did you get through that locked door?
What locked door?
Exactly. I think for a lot of businesses, there especially like, power plants and such, I don't think they're really thinking it through.
Right.
And again, it's kind of part and parcel of our personality. Is that I don't think we take physical security very seriously.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of people leave their cars unlocked, their houses unlocked, they have an open window in case of emergency. The key under the flower pot on the front porch or whatever. And don't really.
Right. Like, but on the other page of this side, those aren't infrastructures. Those are not things that can affect a global or like the East Coast. If this dude gets into the power plant, gets to an operational computer, pops a thumb drive in, presses a button to access the thumb drive, because it's running on Windows 95.
Well, that's making a lot of assumptions there.
Well, again, and shuts that down with ransomware, it's going to take them a good, 2 months
Try closer to 3 or 4 because we actually did have that happen. If you'll remember, Princeton Community Hospital. All it took was an email.
Right.
Dropped that hospital back to the Stone Ages for months.
Right.
Because every time they thought they had a handle on it, they hooked back up another infected system and redid it all over again. So Shannon says, I wandered around for nearly half an hour before I was able to find someone to ask where I needed to go for my interview. LOL, it's pretty lax.
Yes.
And sometimes it is considerations of what's important in a building. Is it literally the physical security or is it systems access? If you have very tightly secured systems, there can be a real struggle to understand, like, what difference does it make if, like, some Uber driver or interview candidate is free roam in the building, they can't do anything. It's a consideration.
It's a deep consideration.
Again, it's things that sometimes people aren't thinking about.
Right.
GC Services had tighter security to get into the call centers. Yeah. Call centers actually, they're the one weirdo place that typically has really good security. Never quite figured that one out. So it's been 4 years since hostiles tried to take over the Capitol, and they still haven't done much about that. You think they really care about infrastructure? Fair enough.
True. Very true.
I'm sure there's still a good deal of chemicals from when they used to make warheads in nitro to cause some havoc.
Yes.
Do you even need, like, Dow Chemical? Dow Chemical alone was mass storing chemicals in West Virginia for and has been for eons. Like, we've already had that as a problem that affected a water source because this aging ancient tank started leaking. And that's a real serious consideration. It's sort of like the frightening realization in Greensboro, North Carolina, that one of the biggest terror threats in that area is if you're driving down I-40, those big, giant, silo-looking things are full of jet fuel. Like, the fact that if you properly strike one of those, you could blow Greensboro off the map. Like, it's a realization. It's part of a terror threat list. Like, I'm not just being, fear mongering. It's literally part of a risk assessment that there is a potential there. Some things could go real bad real quick. So watching my hubby's expression when I told him about that part of Nitro's history and the explanation of why we have a National Guard in St. Albans cross lanes was fun. Yeah, it's an old military town. Like, didn't he figure it out driving through? Because, like, that was how quick I figured it out. Is like that. Those are like St. Albans alone. If you didn't know that was a military town before you drove into it, the minute you drive into it, those are the most due north, due south, north, south, east, west layout. Everything was taken down as flat as it could and over-engineered to hell and back. It's like, no, it's an entirely military-built town. Like, I don't know how someone misses that. Like, some towns you can just tell. Like, you can tell an organic town. That has sprung up around a main street, a central road, and a few shops, and then it keeps expanding.
Right.
That's your more organic. Versus like your planned city, like DC and its spoke configuration, and
Right.
there was a plan. It's very similar with New York and a lot of major cities,
Right.
especially founding cities.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have military towns, and those are all the same.
Right.
Like it's a very assembly line process that they go through to lay those towns out.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have like mining towns, which are kind of unique to mining areas.
Right.
Those again have a very specific layout,
Mm-hmm.
and they're very assembly line, but it's different.
Right.
Like it's very different. But yeah, it kind of, I don't know. These are things that I guess growing up with someone in construction in the family, you start to notice over time is what kind of town am I in?
Mm-hmm.
And because once you figure out what kind of town you're in,
Right.
they become way easier to navigate.
Right.
Like it suddenly all makes sense. It's sort of like we have that old like classroom thing from really old movies, the Our
Mm-hmm.
Town.
Right.
And there's different versions of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like we put a school here, we put a hospital here, we put neighborhood over here, we like police stations here, fire departments there. This is the layout.
Mm-hmm.
So you see in a lot of really old movies, there's kind of this our town thing.
Right.
This I forget what you call it. But anyway, it's this standard classroom idea.
Right.
It pops up in a lot of games as well.
Mm-hmm.
As like generic, this is a classroom, we're teaching children about our town.
Right.
And there's a reality to like there's a lot of repetition.
Right.
That and in West Virginia especially, and especially with there being so many small coal communities
Mm-hmm.
that sprung up around individual mines.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of repetition.
Right.
It's like once you figure out one, you know how pretty much all of them work.
Right.
There's some variations here and there. Sometimes it's related to geographic features, but they kind of went in and did the exact same thing in
Right.
every single one of them. So yeah. Alrighty.
So moving in, we do have a news story that's interesting.
All right. So Travis Kelce seemingly spent post Super Bowl without Taylor Swift after skipping Chiefs party. So Travis Kelce leaned on friends, including the Chainsmokers Alex Paul and Drew Taggart, following the Kansas City Chiefs' loss against the Philadelphia Eagles at the Super Bowl. While the Chiefs' Super Bowl after party on Sunday, February 9th, included performances from Quavo, Travis's friend Machine Gun Kelly, and the Chainsmokers, the tight end, 35, opted to skip the party and stay in following the game. On Monday, February 10th, a video was uploaded via Twitter that showed Travis on a FaceTime call with Alex, 39, and Drew, 35, after the Chainsmokers performed a set at the Bash. Quote, "I just played your effing party," the musical duo told Travis about the after party. Despite losing the game 40-22, Travis appeared to be in good spirits as he smiled while speaking to his friends. Quote, "Dom is here too," someone on the phone yelled before the camera was moved to show Travis with DJ Dom Dalla. It's not clear who else was spending time with Travis, though his girlfriend, Taylor Swift, notably did not appear in that clip. However, that doesn't mean she wasn't there to support Travis. After all, Taylor, 35, was in a private suite at Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, to cheer him and his teammates on during the game. The Shake It Off singer was joined by her family members and several famous faces in her suite, including Ice Spice, the Ham sisters, Alana, Esty, and Danielle Ham, MGK 34, and more. Despite normally appearing to be in good spirits during Chiefs games, Taylor seemed to be stressed out as she watched the Eagles dominate the game.
Mm-hmm. And I think this is so much of a contrast to last year's Super Bowl, when it was like, how's Taylor getting to the game? What's going on with the game? What's going on with the relationship? Now she's like, yeah, he's going to go south for a while, so I'm going to go do something else.
Well, I mean, there's kind of a point there that it's like, I mean, I don't know how to put it. Is like they're both professionals. I mean, I think it's important in any relationship you support your partner, especially if they're, a very, public eye.
Right.
But do you really think Travis is like jetting around the world to go to every single concert?
Well, no, I don't think that he is, but at the same time, this is like the mega Super Bowl. This is like you choosing to take off for the Ray of Light. If I decided to do the Ray of Light thing, it'd be like, oh, no, you ain't.
Well, the first time you do it, I'll be there. Second, third, and fourth start to become a little more optional about how, like, on top I'm going to be. It's like, whatever.
Right.
Like, and how many times can you go to a Super Bowl?
Right.
50. Like, was that the first one or the second one or the third one or the...
Very much so. Oh, no. Kanye is at it again.
Oh, Kanye's at it again. What did Kanye do?
Oh, he got dropped from his agent.
Oh, is that after he started selling swastika t-shirts?
Yeah. Following his anti-Semitic behavior, Kanye West is no longer represented by Los Angeles-based talent agency 38 and West. A representative from the company has confirmed West has been removed from the agency's music roster and representation. Did not discuss how long he had been their client. I would say it's probably more than 10 years. Daniel McCarthy of 38 and West was tasked as West's agent and posted on Instagram on February 10th that he and the agency would stop working with the rapper effective immediately due to his harmful and hateful remarks that myself nor 38 and West can stand for. I swear he's bipolar.
I mean, like, we have comments to the effect. Like, off the top of my head, no, I don't know that. But the swings of behavior. And I mean, on one hand, it's
right.
And I word this carefully because, like, if you see a Nazi, punch a Nazi. Is my general life theory there. You know what I mean? Like, that's my theory. I think there's another mindset that's like, see an opportunity, sell a product to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't care where your cash comes from, and how ironic is it?
Right.
That you're spending money with me to get that.
Right.
Yeah. So the comment we have is, you can tell when he's off his bipolar meds and is going through another episode whenever he pops up in the news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another comment. He wasn't getting enough attention after making his new wife, Kim McKay Light, show up practically naked. he had to go bigger. He had to do something. I mean, how about release some music? How about release some good music? How about get your ass to the studio where you belong? Stop running around like you're an idiot.
No, there is that. I mean, it'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
So,
now granted, 38 and West is a very prestigious agency. Like, they represent some of the biggest stars out there. They don't take newbies. They aren't going to take a long shot. This is going to hurt his career.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. Well, then again, sometimes controversy sells. Because it's kind of the same thing. Is right. in many regards, like getting dropped by a high profile agency is right. a horrible threat, a horrible thing to have happen to your career. On another hand, having someone swoop in and being willing to take him because there's going to be an agency that just started salivating.
Yeah, they may be salivating, but he's a hot fucking mess.
I mean,
like they're going to take it. They're going to have to get more than their 25% to deal with that bullshit.
And again, it's an opportunity.
Yeah. No talent agent will probably touch that for at least 5 years and some PR. And some guaranteed medicines, that's going to be one of those like, you will take your thing.
Oh yeah. So yeah, 33 and West, yeah. But apparently, someone did deactivate his account.
Because it wasn't his. It probably was the agent's control of the account.
True. Well, so, I mean, Shannon's pointing out the new contract is stay on your meds or no money for you. I don't know that's always true. I think there are a few that, at least in Hollywood, right. That I swear their agents just have a general theory of just let it be what it is. Like, let the chaos unfold.
Right.
And it makes them a very polarizing celebrity.
Right.
Like, you love them or hate them. But because we saw Roseanne come back how many times before, we were just all effing done.
Right. But she would take pieces.
Well, but she, and I will say there's a part of me that enjoys Roseanne. There's a problem with Roseanne.
Result.
No, well, no matter when you pick her up in her career, it's always been fraught with she went too far. Her whole career was like this. And that's the problem with Roseanne. Is she's good to a point, and then she goes completely off the rails.
Right.
Then she has to go through a build back. And then she goes completely off the rails.
Right.
Versus someone like Kathy Griffith that she made one horrible joke and that tanked her career overnight.
Right.
And it's okay, I went too far. I get it now.
Right.
I know where the line is. I'm not crossing it again.
Right.
Versus Gilbert Gottfried was another polarizing one. You either love Gilbert Gottfried or you effing hate Gilbert Gottfried.
Right.
There's no in between. And I can't tell anyone they're wrong.
Right.
He's very polarizing.
Right.
We've seen a number of celebrities have that.
Right.
I just wonder, like, what is the practical limit? Like, we know where the limit is for representation
Right.
for at least 33 and West, where they go, okay, nope, Nazi merchandise, bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no.
Right.
We're not representing you.
Right.
See, Brenda's even in the comments, like, his voice. Yeah, Gilbert Godfrey, like, most identifiable voice ever, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but then I at this point can't even remember what controversy he got himself into, that now we have to listen to someone else voice the Aflac duck.
Right.
But we all knew it was Gilbert Godfrey the whole time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and we love the duck. Like, we loved Aflac's commercials because Gilbert Godfrey, the duck, is hilarious.
Right.
But, and I forget what he did. Like, now I can't remember. I know it was bad. Like,
Right.
it was really bad. And Aflac was like, nope. We're out. Like, It was a good duck voice. Well, I mean, and that's basically like the fact that no one thought to make him the voice of a duck before was kind of like, there was your V8 moment. Like, it was a stroke of genius to do it.
Right.
And then it's like, but it's Gilbert Godfrey. Did you not know what celebrity you hired?
Mm-hmm.
Like, were you unaware of the aristocrats joke?
Right.
Like, that is one of the literal nastiest jokes in all of comedy.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't realize that, like, this is who you're hiring.
Right.
Like, it's not going to go well.
Right.
At some point, like, because again, with his comedy, he never knew a limit whatsoever. It's like hiring Jimmy Carr.
Right.
I don't think there's a joke that Jimmy Carr won't make.
Right. And his was a joke about the earthquake in Japan.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was again over Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. Like, and there's a recurrent problem with handing entertainers direct access to social media.
See, okay. One, I'm within that. I'm considered within that industry, guys. So
I know.
My viewpoint: if I didn't have to handle my social media, guys, who are you? Here is the password. Here is the username. I will sign the contract. Deal with it.
Sure. But what I mean is like, comedians especially have been notorious for effing up on social media.
Right.
Because it's in their head. It sounds hilarious. And granted, there's a part of it that is, but it's still too far.
Right.
And then they say it out loud on social media, and the backlash hits.
Right.
That, I mean, there's a limit. There's a line.
Right. There is a line, and there's a limit. But also, comedy shifted very quickly. Between, I would say, 2015 to 2022, comedy shifted style, shifted behaviors. Like, there are just some things that are like, no, we can't. You don't make comedical jokes about the following topics.
There is some of that. I think I think the lines are always changing.
They are, and
I think sometimes that's the problem for a comic.
Right.
is depending upon when their success hits,
Mm-hmm.
they have a shelf life before someone has to go, okay, you've got to rework. Like,
Right.
that was funny 10 years ago. That
Right.
line of humor was funny a
Right.
decade ago.
Right.
Stop while you're ahead before you say something that gets you in trouble. These aren't the same people. This is
Right.
no longer your audience. They grew, they changed, they shifted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't keep doing this and derivative versions of the act.
Right. Well, it's like right now. Let's look at when I entered the Roseanne Barr career thing, and that was when she was doing the domestic goddess role, and that was her skit.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you, for probably the past 20 years, her hands haven't touched a toilet bowl.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so she's lost that. There's another one I love, and I'll have to look her up. And I love her. I think she's hilarious, but she shot her career. Monique, love her.
Oh, what did Monique do?
She took on who did she take on? She took on the creator of Medea and Oprah, and basically just lied out her ass.
Yeah, don't
Right.
make shit up.
All right.
And that's one part of a career downfall.
Right.
Like, don't make shit up, but at the same time, there's just some jokes that just don't work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I see what you were trying to do, and maybe a decade ago, if this event had occurred, you would have been booked for every talk show to tell that joke 100 times.
Right.
Not today.
Right.
The world changed. The Mini-Mont gets a 3-hour delay tomorrow. Awesome.
Very awesome. But no, she took on Oprah because here's the deal. She'd done a movie with Oprah on, and I cannot. Medea's the character. I can't remember who the creator is.
Tyler Perry.
There you go. Done a movie and then refused to do any of the extra work because you don't just act in a movie.
Yeah, there's the whole press junket anymore.
Right.
Well, at least then, I don't know how much has changed since, but yeah.
Right.
Like there's interviews and answering the same questions over and over to one daytime personality after another. You know, well, where did you find the inspiration for your character?
Right. Yeah.
You know, over and over and over. It's the same for authors. It's the same for any person who is creative that sees any kind of national attention. Is you're gonna go on a press tour.
Right.
You're gonna have to like do all this crap. And if you don't understand that and you don't want to do that, you're gonna have a problem.
Right. You know, and I do like her stuff. I think that she could be different. I think she should have not probably took on Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey. I think that she should have let that axe drop somewhere in the back beyond Mississippi 40 and stuck to what she was good at. She was good at talking relationships, life choices, making comments about that, comments about making more money than her husband, her first husband, and her second husband. Acting is cute, but you're a comedian. Be a comedian.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's sometimes like it is ultimately, in some instances, a characteristic or a trait
Right.
of really great people in their field. To one, be horrible human beings,
Right.
and or be really bad outside of that. Like they have one thing, and they're phenomenally good at it. And it's not just celebrities. Like Winston Churchill, horrible man.
Yeah.
Really great prime minister.
Yeah. And followed that and knew how to play it and was great at handling the war and was great with, getting
Winston Churchill
moving.
Great in his job, horrible everywhere else.
Exactly.
Like absolutely horrible.
Right.
Like socially though,
right.
We didn't used to see that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that got covered up. It got, properly dressed and staged and hidden from public view. And so you could have like the mommy dearest, so to speak, like personality outside of every, your role. And all that people saw was you were a great actor, you're a great comedian, you're a great, senator, you're a great president, you're a great whatever. Like, I mean, everyone loved John F. Kennedy. Being married to him had to have been a real nightmare.
Well, see, we think it is a real nightmare because we apply 1960s ideals to it. Here's the problem, though. If you listen to like the tapes, Jackie Onassis's tapes, she done a whole journal by tape, and you can hear Onassis's voice. You can hear her talk about that time, and they had a total damn agreement. Keep her out of my house. Do what you want. Keep it out of the news. Do your job. Take care of the children. Be a wonderful father.
Right, but what I'm talking about is that, and regardless of time period. But but you're right, very specific to the 60s, and that, is how many people like were ready to just throw themselves at him. Like he's just perfect. And it's like, not so much fun after the cameras turn off and like he leaves the Oval Office.
Right.
Outside of that space, off the campaign trail, away from, like, I don't think you're gonna like him as much. Like you have this idea of who you thought he was,
right?
Versus like, no, there's a whole man behind this, and he's not right. Like he's not everything in a bag of chips. Like the chips are separate.
Right. He's not the
like there's a lot
husband
that goes with him.
Right.
Like the price of admission is high.
Exactly. He was not the perfect 1950s husband. For an open relationship, he was decent. He made sure he was at dinner. He made sure the children didn't see the girlfriends. He made sure that, the bills were paid and she could go to a racing farm.
Yep. Which, I mean, the fact that, like, and it wasn't even uncommon for the 60s, like, that was kind of an arrangement if you go way back through history that high-powered couples had.
Right.
Is, this marriage was more contractual and looked good. And literally it's everyone has a job here. Right. Like you didn't get married because, we fell in love. You got married because it was a damn good business arrangement.
Right. Yeah.
So you figure out how to work the business arrangement and keep everyone happy.
Right. But no, if you've got time, go and check out Jackie Onassis's tape. I think it's Jackie on Tape. It has all of her diary talking about her life with John, her life with Onassa. and the life she created. All right, guys, let's take a break, and we'll come back where we'll find out if Joe's an asshole or a jerk, and we will be taking on a psychic question. So we'll be right back.
Love diving into metaphysical topics, psychic insights, and lively discussions? Now you can help keep the conversation going. By becoming a Patreon supporter of The Psychic Coffee Shop, you'll gain access to exclusive content, behind-the-scenes insights, and special perks just for our patrons. Join our community and ensure that your favorite psychic show continues to thrive. Your support helps us bring more enlightening episodes, special guests, and deep dives into the world of the unseen. Become a patron today and enjoy a cup of wisdom with us every week. Click the link to join the baristas and unlock exclusive content. Thank you for your support.
Unlock your full potential with Aeson Knight's life coaching. Are you ready to take control of your life and manifest the future you deserve? Aeson Knight, a seasoned life coach and master psychic, is here to guide you on a transformative journey. Whether you're navigating personal challenges, career transitions, or seeking spiritual growth, Aeson's life coaching services offer tailored guidance to help you achieve your goals. With Aeson by your side, you'll discover the tools to overcome obstacles, embrace your true self, and create a life filled with purpose and fulfillment. His unique blend of spiritual insight and practical coaching empowers you to turn your dreams into reality. Ready to make a change? Book your session today and start your journey to a more empowered, balanced, and joyful life with Aeson Knight. Click the link to schedule your first session and step into your power.
Are you ready for an electrifying podcast experience that keeps you coming back for more? Join Aeson Knight every week as he takes you on a journey through captivating shows, each exploring unique and fascinating topics. And here's the best part. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode where you can get your burning questions answered live on air, absolutely free. Whether it's relationship advice, career guidance, or mystical insights, Aeson's podcasts have got you covered. When you subscribe, you become part of a vibrant community, engaging directly with Aeson as he shares his wisdom and leaves you feeling empowered and enlightened. Don't miss out. Subscribe now and be part of the conversation. What you'll get by subscribing: Monday 5 p.m. Metaphysics. Today, soulful conversations with Aeson Knight and Firefly, exploring the essence of metaphysics in today's world. Tuesday 8 p.m. The Psychic Coffee Shop. Dive into current events with a psychic twist, featuring special guests and thought-provoking discussions. Friday 9 p.m. The Mountain Bears Podcast. Lively discussions from a gayish, techie-ish, bearish perspective with Aeson and Joe. Sunday 5 p.m., Psychic That Plans. Get a weekly tarot energy overview and time management tips from Aeson Knight. Click here to subscribe now and never miss an episode. By subscribing, you're not just tuning in, you're joining a community of curious minds and ensuring you're always in the loop with Aeson's insightful and interactive shows. Don't wait. Hit that subscribe button and get ready for an amazing podcast journey.
Ready for an enchanting journey of self-discovery? Join Lord Aeson Knight in our Wicca courses. Unveil the secrets of Wicca. Explore deity relationships, rituals, and more. As a third-degree high priest, Aeson Knight guides you toward empowerment and enlightenment. Enroll today and take your first step into the magical circle. Click the link to begin your journey.
Psychic Saturday. Get 50% off with Aeson Knight every third Saturday of the month. Don't miss out. Book now.
All right. Welcome back.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's talk about what's going on Are You the Asshole before we get into this segment.
Yeah. Because it's not an Am I the Asshole tonight? It is an Am I the Jerk, just to let y'all know. But yeah, take it away.
Basically, it looks like the children that left the TikTok has come to Reddit.
Pretty much. Like the age in postings is gone a lot lower.
Mm-hmm.
And then the quality of question posed
is low.
yeah, it's like that's not really worth reading or discussing on air. So we were really struggling. We ended up, at least for Am I the Asshole, over at Am I the Jerk? And then, you ended up out to Real Witchcraft, Reddit. So Reddit. I don't know if it just got slammed with a bunch of new people. Or if maybe it's even getting hit up with a lot of bot posting of like AI generated content.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
But it's it's getting very teen oriented. And it's like, I don't know how I feel about that. And especially some of the situations posed are just like, what?
What? Yeah. And that was a lot about, psychic. It's like, what the living hell?
Yeah. It is. So, so Shannon's pointing out, jerk and asshole are interchangeable, and people get far more offended when I call them a jerk for some reason. LOL. Yes, they do.
Right.
All right. Well, let's take it on. Am I the jerk for telling the postal worker I dread coming to the post office because of her? I, 21 female, just recently decided to get my passport. First, I needed the photo and then to apply for it, so I went to the post office. Backstory, I've been to this post office many times. I'm often returning items at the post office. There is a woman that works there, maybe late 50s, early 60s. She is kind of rude. Every time I've gone in, she has an attitude and acts if the customers are inconveniencing her in some way. She seems so miserable. The very first time I ever went, I was 16 and I had no idea how to return an item. She made me feel very stupid and embarrassed me in front of other customers, and it really did hurt my feelings because I was being polite and asking for help. Even though she did that, every time I go in, I smile and tell her good morning or good afternoon. This story, I went in and asked for just a passport photo because I didn't have the money yet to spend on the passport. I have a lot of money in my savings, but wanted to wait until I had more in my checking to buy it. She says, "Are you a first-time applicant?" I said, "Yes." She then says, "Well, you can just take your photo once you do the application." I was excited to take my picture this day because I'd done my makeup and spent a lot of time on it. So I said I'd like to take the photo today if that isn't an issue. I did my makeup. She looks me up and down with a subtle look of disgust. Then she says, "You don't want to just do it when you come back." And I said, "No." She sighed, and once again, there were people staring at me. She then calls another worker to the desk because she had to go take my picture, and I heard her say, "I don't understand these people." So I said, "You know what? It's okay. I'll just go to Walgreens and take my photo there." She comes back over and says, "I just said you can take it today." And I said, "No, it seems like it's an inconvenience to you. Every time I come in here, you have a nasty attitude, and I don't look forward to having to come in here." I ended up leaving before she responded. So I took my photo at Walgreens and applied for an application at a post office in another city. And now I'm inclined to return items at a post office in another city, which is going to be a pain.
Right.
So the I don't hear the jerk.
Right.
Like, I think sometimes you just get that person that just everything you do to be nice, be polite, try not to make this a rough experience. Just lands with a thud. Or they're so far gone in the job, they're done. Additionally, some people just
are jerks.
Personality.
Right.
It's just That's their personality.
Exactly. I think that you're not the jerk for telling them they're making their service they're supposedly providing impossible to use.
Well, or uncomfortable.
Right.
I would say go with uncomfortable.
Right.
Which is ultimately what she said. I dread coming in here. Like every time it seems like I'm inconveniencing you. So
Right.
I'm just not gonna come in. The funny part. So weirdly enough, our tiny little town manages to have 2 post offices.
Right.
And the one I like only has limited hours of operation. They're open from like, I forget, like 9 to noon or something. Like it's a very short window that you got to get in, get out, and be done. I will rearrange my entire day to go to that one before like ever thinking kindly of going to the other post office.
Right.
For the simple reason that there is a woman that works there that sounds exactly like this.
Right.
She is just so
right.
Like one, she's rude with customers, but then there's the backside of it that like she's rude and hateful to her coworkers. And just I've seen her practically reduce other employees to tears.
Right.
And it's like, what is your problem?
And furthermore, why are you doing this?
Yeah. It's like I don't mean to make assumptions, but I would assume like she seems like she's been there a while. She is the postmaster, as I understood it. That like I thought at this point in your career that like the money wasn't that bad.
Right.
Like take a vacation.
Do something.
Like something like find your attitude adjustment somewhere.
Right.
Like it's small town post office. This is not a major city.
Right.
By any stretch. You are not handling millions of packages per day. Right. Y'all have like 3 employees. In the building. I'm sure there's many more route carriers. But like how is your job this hateable? Like chill.
Right. It's insane. It's really insane. And no, like I don't know why. Like Postman, I'm like, why are you so grumpy to begin with? But I know who you're talking about, and she's a nightmare.
Oh yeah. Everything is just so confrontational.
Right.
And like she's ready to fight.
Right.
And it's like, I'm just trying to send a package. I'm just buying stamps. Like I'm not even coming in like I can't believe the damn stamps are this fucking expensive. You know, like that's not me. That's not how I'm going in. You know, it's just hi, I would like to get a book of stamps, please. Or hi, I need to, get this weighed and mail it.
Right.
That's it. Like, And every time it's like, I will go to the nice post office. I will wait and go to the nice post office.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Shannon says, I feel like some people would do well to take how to utilize sarcasm to use against people. LOL. Some people are just cranky asses and miserable and honestly screw with them. Be statistic.
Right.
I don't know. That's not me. I can't do it. So nope. We had her husband at our neighborhood one. He was miserable and determined to make everyone else miserable.
Right.
Why? You have a nice job. I'm not saying it's a perfect job. I'm not saying it's the greatest job that has ever existed. But like in terms of employment, it is not a horrible paying job. It has some decent benefits. Like you pretty much have solid job security. I understand that the customers aren't always the best, and the
Right.
days get hard, and bad things happen. But like,
Right.
did you work fast food? Like,
Right. Right.
Oops, sorry. Sorry about that, guys.
So aggressive. Did you take steroids this morning? Is that why you ache?
Why your acne is flaring up? Like sarcastic at me. No. I'm not picking on people.
Yeah.
I really don't want to pick on people, but like, if you live in this town, you know which two post offices is which one's which, and you know who I'm talking about. Because it is. And the weird part is, part of me, I don't even think she does it intentionally.
I know, right?
You know what I mean? Like, this isn't like she got up this morning and made a choice. It's just, nope, that's just.
See, and you go one, well, you go technically a post office standards, you go 2 towns over, it's technically 1 town over. And that post woman is the sweetest pie. Honey won't melt in her mouth. I mean, which book of stamps do you need? The full one or just one or another?
Yeah, it's just like, how are you today? And like,
yeah,
so friendly, so helpful. So like, there's a cheaper way to send that if you want to save some money.
yeah,
like super awesome. Hey Renee, like, yeah, no, I mean, it's just so night and day, and it's like I will plan my whole day over that one post office. I will literally do it. I don't care.
See, I go to the next one over because I can't plan my day around the post office. And by the way, hi, Dreamy.
Yes.
It is much more easier to go to Fedville and get the real sweet woman that'll actually, if she doesn't like the taping on your box, she will go, oh, honey, let me fix this for you. They're going to fuck this up. Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's just so wild to me that postal, like, it literally is in that whole, like, it's the exact same business.
Right.
Well, it's the exact same governmental agency, but the whole difference is made by like one employee. So Brenda says, I told a coworker once that I read that anger was often caused by sexual frustration, then asked if she was just a bitch or she's not getting any. Her crew laughed at her. Oh, I'll let you take it.
Her kids, Dark Huntress says, my kids tell me, kids tell people she doesn't hate you. That's just her face. Or I can never pronounce this name right, so we'll go with K. Goes to has been. Don't worry, that's just her face. Laugh out loud.
It happens. I mean, like, resting bitch face is a phenomenon. It is not a personality. Now sometimes literally it like that was your warning. But for most people with it, it's like personality and face don't go together.
Right.
It's just like, I'm not doing anything. I look like I'm going to murder people. And then you connect with them and it's like the light comes on. But otherwise, nothing.
Yeah. Like, I have asshole energy. I know I have asshole energy. I am a superior bitch. And yes, I am the next supreme.
Brenda says, don't come at me before 7 a.m. and before caffeine. Fair enough.
We'll just eliminate it and we'll make it short. If I do not have caffeine in my hand, don't come near me. I will bite you.
I have to go the other way, though. My biggest problem is I don't have self-control first thing in the morning.
Right.
And I really have to be careful around morning, like super morning people. Because I think I'm thinking it in my head. only to realize that the horrible comment that just went through my head actually came out of my mouth.
That's okay. You have a tendency to do that even after caffeine.
Well, sometimes, yeah.
Most times.
Catch me off guard and things come out of my mouth, and like you just have to take what you got there. Like,
so before Kalika kills me, let's get out the cauldron and work on this real witchcraft.
Oh, Shannon is so much sweeter than her "I'll cut you" face. Yes, she is.
Yeah. You're going to have to take it.
Sorry. So can a reconciliation spell affect me too? Paid a witch to cast a candle magic spell for my ex to come back, and it made me miss him a lot and longing for him and crying, even which didn't happen before the spell. She told me it must have had the same effect on him too, since it's happening to me. Is it true?
Yes. Okay, we're going to talk about this in scientific theory. Yeah, witchcraft is science. If you're pulling 2 points together, both of them are going to feel it.
It's the same rope.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just more annoyed that someone's doing candle magic for an ex to come back.
I'm more like, I wonder when this is going to be my customer.
Yeah, that like we don't do that for a reason.
Yes, we don't do love magic for a reason, and you've brought some useless fucker to sit on your couch and eat your popcorn and not give you any money or change a fucking baby diaper back into your damn life. Why? Yeah. Because you
or the really good person that you were with, you were that person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I sometimes wonder if professionally, like, on one hand, you have the moment where it's like, what the hell you want this ex back for?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there, like, is there also the opposite where you're talking to the client and it's like, no, you're a high ass mess. No.
Yes.
I'm not. No. Like, you need to work out your hot messedness.
Mm-hmm.
And then find someone who does not have that experience. Because you already did some damage over here and they don't deserve a round two.
Exactly.
Yeah, why are we trying to bring the trash back in? You know.
Daily is, it's like they think their life is a recycling center.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's like X's are X's for a reason. Did the reason change?
Mm-mm.
And even then,
right. And then here's the bigger consideration. Do you want to fuck it up? What I mean by that is every time you do a spell on something, it creates other energy that, yes, will do what you want it to do. At the least resistible path. Everyone thinks energy is electric. I always think of it as water. Water will go everywhere. It'll get into everything in the least resistible path possible.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way spells work. They take the least resistible path possible. So you have this person, I'm not going to call them a witch because I don't know the clarification, do a spell, and you pay them energy in cash, no card, no credit card, to bring back this person. Well, to not bring them back, not return to them, but to do to bring the renegotiation back to the table. And you thought it would not affect you? Like, what are you, some rock anchor sitting over in the North Sea? I don't think so.
Yeah, no. You're right there in the middle.
Right.
You're the one pulling the string.
Right.
How did you think you were going to miss the outflow of that? Like, hi.
Yeah.
It's like stepping into a tug of war and grabbing the knot in the middle.
Right.
You don't think you're going to get tossed around like a little rag doll?
Right.
Like, what are these, kindergartners?
Well, not only that, but like, then I'm thinking, excuse me, then I'm thinking about the practitioner. And the practitioner is going to get the pull also, either into an old relationship, into another situation, or even more specifically, pulled out of the relationship they're in.
Yeah.
Because you don't get to escape the fire if you're playing with it.
Nope. And that's kind of the whole point there is like, no, like, think of it like a rope. Think of it like a rope. Think of it like tug of war.
Right.
Because it's very much tug of war. And you're asking a practitioner of some level to grab the knot in the middle, the flag in the middle, and yank to slam the two ends together.
Right.
Yeah, the call is coming from inside the house. So yeah, no, there's I just always go with X's or X's for a reason. Did the reasons change, and are you sure you want to do this again?
Right.
Like, just don't do it.
Right.
But then again, I have a big, like, I've always been big on the theory, and I've handled most breakups really, really well. From the mindset that, like, you know, it's a journey, it's a path. Like, what can I take from the relationship I just left? And what you know, does that potentially mean for my future? So if that was a horrible relationship filled with like all kinds of like pain and drama and trauma and hurt and whatever, well, thank you for that. I now absolutely know what to watch out for. Like, I assume that that's the lesson I need down the road. Is to avoid the next person that's going to do that and get out faster. Or, you know, that's going to be part of my appreciation for someone else, is that like, no, I've been with bad. Like, no, I'm not taking for granted all the good. You know, it's one of those, like, you know,
right.
Because I think for some people, and especially if you're in a relationship with someone that is, because we put a lot of emphasis, especially in movies and books and in our storytelling imagination, on big grandiose gestures and like these moments of like whatever. It's not real life. And for the most part, it's not real life. You might, in a relationship, have a couple of those that are big moments. But when we do storytelling, we tend to go for a bunch of them. You know, these critical moments of hard decisions, and it builds drama, and it's great for storytelling. Horrible for setting real expectations for a real relationship. Because you're going to have some major critical moments, not in the span of like a month.
All right.
But then some of your worst relationships, the ones that it's like the red flags are popping everywhere.
And they're not fireworks.
Yeah. Oh, but they'll come so fast you think they're fireworks. But because we have that expectation, we see that play out with someone, and we think that, oh, this is our person. And it's like, no, that's your warning. Like, I mean, if you've just started dating someone and they've lost their job and their grandmother died and, their house burned down and, whoa. Like, either someone's having a really horrible life moment right now and should not be available for dating, or someone is using a lot of manipulation on you. And you need to be fact checking because you're probably going to find out like that's not really what's happening.
Yeah, I like Brenda's, although my comment is normally different. Mine is a good relationship is when you wake up in the morning, you get out of bed, you get your coffee in you, and at that point in time, that space between waking up and getting your coffee, you're in the thought mind of, I'm not going to divorce them. I'm not going to kill them today. And by the time you get to bed at night, if you can at least lay your head down and say, all right, I got everything I needed to get done today, and they're still here, you're done good. You're in love with them. Get over it.
Yeah, I think there's a fair amount of that goes into any relationship is like, I will let you live today. I'm going to let you live. I'm gonna choose life for you. Despite everything else, despite every other reason, despite despite it all, I will let you live. Now that is the critical warning to all this. Is the exit point is when you're like, I'm gonna go to Walmart and buy some supplies. I'll be back in 20.
Right.
No, you're not. You're going to keep driving. Keep going. Don't come back.
All right. I'm going to take a run on the wise friend here and go, no, if you're feeling butterflies, it's not anxiety. It's tachycardia. You're getting ready to have a stroke. Go to the hospital.
That too. But it is also part of why you see people and I know we throw the words toxic and narcissist and abusive around really heavily anymore. And sometimes those are appropriate and sometimes they're not. Right. But I will say for some of the worst for you relationships, whatever you want to label them, what you will see is this like constant, never-ending, seemingly excitement. And the reality is that all sounds like what we want. We want the we're going to take a trip and we're going to buy a house and we're going to buy a car and we're going to it's not sustainable. Like, please accept that is not a sustainable level of relationship. But it's also why when people come out of those relationships, they have a really hard time adjusting to the real world. And like getting with someone who is solid. They're a solid human being. Not perfect, but they're solid. They're reasonable, they're responsible, they're making good choices, they're planning for the future. They deal with the world with some hesitancy, like they don't rush into things, they make informed decisions. And like after you've been on this rush, this adrenaline rush of a relationship, from like crazy to sad to bad to wild to amazing to and you're just the emotional roller coaster, leaving that and trying to go to normal, healthy relationship with a decent human being. A lot of people will leave, they will cheat, and they will think that they are not the one with a problem. Because like it's like doing drugs. It really is, because you're on drugs when you're in a relationship that is very chaotic and exciting.
Mm-hmm.
It's your own body chemistry,
Right.
and like whatever the situation is, and like and abuse is there is a drug like effect within abuse.
Right.
That you can, I don't want to say get addicted to per se, but you get normalized to.
Mm-hmm.
That like this becomes your baseline, and you
Mm-hmm.
start trying to date someone who's just like normal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you start jonesing for a fix. Like you're so bored.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that the person you're with is boring and horrible. It's that the person you were with previously
Mm-hmm.
was wildly inappropriate and has set a bar that you need to work down from.
Mm-hmm.
Like you might not be ready for a relationship yet.
Mm-hmm. And then you have the others that, they come out of that high pace, high alcohol, high travel relationship, and they go into a relationship and they, go at it like they used to. And then eventually that steam runs out and the real picture shows up, and it's like, oh, okay, this isn't who I fell in love with, but all right, we'll play this game. All right, so let's see who's the jerk this week.
All right.
Interesting. You would be the dill pickle for going to the other post office, but no, you're not the jerk.
Okay.
All right.
Interesting. Well, I think, and for telling the postal employee directly, like, I dread you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have issues with that one, but I'm like, I think it's well deserved at this point. Is where I'm at.
It is.
So,
All right. Yeah. So with that, take it over.
All right. So of course we want to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Brenda, Joan Owen, Shannon C, Shannon D, Lady Gwendolyn, Caitlin Bell, Devin, and Bella. If you'd like to learn more about us, the show, or how you too can become a Patreon sponsor and receive all the wonderful benefits our baristas receive, please visit us at PCSPNetwork.com.
Yes. All right, guys. We will see you Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we will be diving into some more news. We've already got one story cooking in the newsroom. We'll be talking about a few more. Until then, guys. Bye, y'all.
Bye.